Their defense was unimaginably terrible last year, and you would think they need to do something about that. But on Tuesday of this week, our Chris Mortensen revealed that Jerry Jones may have other plans for draft day. Listen to this.
We're hearing this thing about Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, and the GM, being infatuated with Kyle Pitts. So I have figured out that he's going to have to trade up to get Kyle Pitts. He spent $40 million a year on Dak Prescott, so why not go get Kyle Pitts? Or if he actually falls to 10, you couldn't rule him out.
All right, and Chris Canty joins us in studio again. And to be clear, while nothing is impossible, the likelihood of Kyle Pitts falling to 10 is so unlikely as to not even really be worth putting into the conversation. So with that thought in mind, Jeff Tarlington, what is your sense of the chance that Jerry Jones is going to trade up to take an offensive weapon in a draft where everyone says he needs defense?
I can't see him trading too much ammunition because, by the way, giving up the assets that, to your point, even if you're not drafting a defensive player at 10, which you would think that they would, they still need the assets later to build depth on the defense. It's not one person that's going to fix that unit. So it is difficult to imagine, and to your point, it's also difficult to imagine Pitts falling to 10. So while Jerry Jones can be infatuated, I mean, the likelihood of Pitts winding up with the Dallas Cowboys feels pretty low to me.
Yeah, I mean, again, the only way it happens is if he is willing to move up and get him. And so I only have one defensive player with me today, so let me get into that with you, Canty. What do you think? The idea that, I mean, everyone's all excited. Oh, bring more offensive weapons. Everyone loves the points and the fantasy, and I enjoy it too.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, do the Dallas Cowboys need to draft on their defense?
No, I think they do have to go with the defense. I absolutely do. I'm with Jeff on this one. I don't think it makes sense to take a tight end, whether it's the 10th overall pick or you move up into the top 10, just because you do need to build depth with the draft picks that you have right now, because you're paying your quarterback top of the market money. And beyond that, the issues with the Dallas Cowboys, the defensive side of the ball, historically bad unit. They've got to address the secondary. They really only have one cornerback there that you would trust to hold up as your starter for the entire season. And then when you look at that offense, the skill position players aren't the biggest concern. The biggest concern is that group up front being able to stay healthy. So if you were going to make a pick with a guy with the selection in the top 10 on that side of the ball, it has to be on that offensive line.
What do you think, D. Wood?
Well, Greeny, you heard me last hour. I said my heart, I would love something like that to happen because it's Dallas and it's a star and all that. But listen, I think just from a rational standpoint, they have to go defense. That defense was, anyone who watched it, you were nauseated just watching that defense last year. They got to infuse more talent on that side of the ball. So, you know, just traditional wisdom would tell you at number 10, you got to go out there, you know, whether it's a corner, linebacker, they got to get players on that side of the ball if they want to contend in the NFC this year.
You know, and Chris, I mean, there's some things you can't be too much of or have too much of, right? You can't be too rich, you can't be too handsome. But they have enough offense, right? I mean, you look at the offense and you look at the collection of receivers and you look at Ezekiel Elliott and they paid the quarterback. I mean, not that you can't have more, but they have enough offense even without drafting someone like Kyle Pitts, don't they?
Yeah, they have enough guys that can do some special things with the ball in their hands. But if you're looking at the offensive side of the ball, the biggest concern, the biggest impediment to them being an elite unit would be that offensive line. Tyron Smith, their all-world left tackle, only played in 2 games last year. He's only been healthy all 16. You know, he hadn't been healthy all 16 the last 5 years. So, I mean, that has to be an area of concern. You've got some moving parts there. So, to me, if you're thinking offensive side of the ball, if you want that to continue to be the identity of the team, you would go with the offensive line and you would protect your quarterback who's coming off of a major injury.
Absolutely. Look, Rashawn Slater from Northwestern figures to be there, and he could play left side or right side at tackle, so you would have that flexibility depending on the injury situation with Tyron Smith. Go ahead, D. Wood. Final thought. Go.
Didn't we just talk about this in my wood-based pun? Didn't we just talk about this? The tight end and the offensive line. And here it is. The situation could play itself out.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.